So thank you everyone first. Since I heard... I know. First of all, I'm actually quite happy that I have a few seconds to talk about it. I heard a few firsts today, first presentations on stage and so on. It's my first time with a broken hand, so I get into that competition as well. All right, next one. I'm going to talk about tech-smart crewing, how we can use the technologies we are currently having and we are developing in the future to apply to our maritime industry. And it was a very good closing from DNV to say that the people will be our key to the success. And we believe so too. Well-trained people, the right people. We all have the same challenges, so before we can find a solution, we need to identify what are the challenges. And it's finding, keeping, and nurturing our talents. That means we need to recruit. We most likely need to start recruit more creative, saturated markets. We need to go into different areas of the world where we can recruit. We need to train our people to bring them up to speed with our technologies, with our processes, and bring them to the right place. And in the same time, we need to retain the talent we are already having. And that means we need to promote them, we need to pay them on time, as we heard before from the Seafarer's Wellness Index. Also, payment is one of the key things which create a crew wellness level. Now, looking at the Seafarer's Happiness Index, we all have seen this, but I think the more powerful message is actually in this quote here. Frustration with sign-on for longer periods than desired, delays experienced in sign-off procedures, bureaucratic and unnecessary paperwork demands. What have we done for the longest time? Whenever there was a problem, let's put a form on it and give some tick boxes to our seafarers to, cover ourselves. That means we are coming back to people are the key to our success. The seafarer has always been in a changing environment. They have more responsibilities, a high level of requirements, new equipments, new technologies, new regulations, as well as, we have heard that before, the social and cultural mix. The expectations of our seafarers have also evolved with that. In that sense, they want to be promoted. They want to have a clear career development. They want to know what do I need to do to get to the next level of my career. And work-life balance and the modern tools of, mobile phones and other gadgets. So culture, values, working conditions and paid on time is playing again into the current environment of the ESG with S for social. But it's not only our crew we need to look after. We also need to look after our crewing personnel in the office, because they have the enormous pressure to find the right people, to fly them to the right places in the perfect timing, as well as the prices are getting up, especially during COVID times. We have seen increased flight costs, shadow flights which never actually were planned to go on, and so on. This burden is all with our crewing teams in the office. And with that, you have also the additional need of, okay, you don't even know how often I go in and say, how do you manage your crew? It's in an Excel sheet, because the platform is not solving it for me, right? So the most important part is to abandon the Excel sheet. Go into a solution which gives you the certainty you have the latest version, you have the updated information. It's secure, it's restricted, not everybody can see every information. And whenever there is paperwork, we are trying to automate wherever possible. And for the last part, we need to benchmark ourselves against the industry. I will come to the benchmarking a little bit later as well. Current solutions are at hand, right? We are all having one way or another HR solution in place. But going forward, it shouldn't be an HR solution. It's a human capital management solution. It's not only, planning crew changes, flying people somewhere, but we also need to train them, ideally in the same platform, that there is a unique experience, the same experience for everybody in the environment. We need to be clear to our crew and also to our crewing team What is the opportunities for progression? What is how can we reduce pressure and stress? We at Ocean, we have 3 pillars, which is the learning platform, the fleet, and the Compass part. Compass is the Ocean crew part. I will talk about more in HR, maritime HR platform general, with using a few analogies what we are doing. Our crew management solution is an extendable personal database with all crew data, whichever you need for whatever job you have at hand. And the most important part, and that's not only for Compass, that should be any crewing solution. It should be structured and standardized. We'll come back to standardized in a little bit later as well when we are talking about flying my crew somewhere. And it should be dashboard driven. That doesn't mean it needs to be in Compass, which is our solution. Any maritime platform should have a dashboard where I can write and find my solution properly. And that might also be an extraction to a Power BI, to any BI tools, to be honest. So what is important when I look at an HR platform? What does it need to do for me? I need to know that I'm compliant. First and foremost, I need to be compliant. I need to see what do I need to do to make my crew compliant. I need to see, do I comply with everything? Do I need to start a mitigation right away? And I need to know, how is my trend? Do I do better since I know how my crew is? Or do I need to actually train maybe my crewing team, my training team, to improve my compliance? Payroll, as we were saying before, payment, wages is one of the most important things. And in our world, we have seafarers from all different places. It's a nightmare to manage multiple wage scales, bargaining agreements, and different tax regimes. We all need to trust a solution to help us to solve these issues rather than doing it in various different ways. It's also to automate other processes, email sendings to port agents, CVs, visa application. This all should be automated, and the solutions should help you as much as possible to get that done. Furthermore, there is no one solution solves it all. We all need to be integrated to third party, be it a finance system for the accountings, being it a flight travel management tool, or be it a bank, to name a few only. And then we need to fly our people all over the world, right? Crew changes have never been more challenging with the information we are having. Important is that I have the full information. It's not only a maritime platform which tells you where should I fly my people, but I also need to know, okay, where is my next port of call, right? That's coming from a voyage management system. Do I have the experience? Do I have any jobs planned? That's all coming from different places. It needs to be flown. The information needs to come back together in one place to be able to make the best possible decisions for my ships. We need to keep track of the costs involved. What we are doing is actually benchmarking you as a client against the full industry and tell you, okay, your flight cost might be or might not be higher than what others are paying for. That has helped to reduce travel costs, travel budget by up to 9% for some of our clients. Now let's come to the most important one, standardization. Again, when I'm flying my crew, I'm flying him maybe from Singapore to Goa. Where do I fly him? Goa, India, or Goa, which is the IATA code for Genoa, Italy? You know, we had this case where somebody was flying somebody from Singapore to Goa. The guy flew to Genoa, Italy. He didn't have a visa. He was planned to go to Goa. He got arrested at the airport because he didn't have a visa. He ended up in the wrong place. Here, standardization to use standard tools, especially when we are talking to third parties, a travel agent, port agent, and so on. We need to use the same terminologies. So, Goa, India is not Goa as IATA code. The same, when you use abbreviations in your current system and you're not standardizing it, what does MAL stand for? Malawi, Madagascar, Malta, Malaysia? Actually, MAL is not even an ISO code, so how should we know? And there are other leadership tools for the people on board, right? We need to reduce the pressure to fill up forms. A solution should fill up forms which are pre-given by port authorities and others in advance, so that we do not have all the tasks at hand for the master or for the third officer, whoever he distributes it for this, right? And that makes them free to focus actually on what they have to do when they're traveling. Promotions. Again, promotions, in the old ways it was, I had two recommendations for promotion. I had enough experience, I had the license. With that I got promoted. Nowadays it needs to be bigger. We need to find the right person in the right place, in the right time. What does that mean? He also needs to have the competence to be promoted. Again, another example which is more sad than funny. We had a master who just got promoted, and due to the stress being on board, he actually was hiding, and the ship actually turned around, tried to find him. 7 other ships were searching for the master until they found him actually in the gym, hiding between the ceiling and the lower hanging ceiling, just because he couldn't handle the pressure. His family was informed that he is missing. Shouldn't happen. With that, promotions need to have a certain workflow. More people need to be involved, and it shouldn't be focused only on experience and licenses. Lastly, the crew. The crew needs to be there. The crew needs to be involved. And going forward, wanting to be more mobile than ever, the crew also needs to take some self-responsibility. First of all, we need to provide them the data they need to make a decision, right? They need to know what do they need to do for the future. What is planned for me? I want to download my ticket directly from a mobile application and not getting an email sent. In the same time, I should actually see my payslips in a platform, as we all do. And we should file for our claims and so on, and this should flow back into a payroll. And with that, I also know what do I need to do to be compliant to go on board. That means not only, as I came back to at the beginning, we don't only look at a crew and managing the crew, but we also need to look at their development. We need to give them the building resources for their knowledgement. How do we build their competency with frameworks? How to see what do I need to prioritize? How to see my own performance? How is it seen by others? And make them learn themselves because they are ready for that. I'll just give you a short mobile applications we are having currently. Which basically brings me back to my last slide here. We need to bring it all together. It's human capital management only and not crewing anymore. We need to look after our crew, we need to retain, and we need to hire the right people. Thank you.